Watching world had never seen anything like it. In Washington, in the Oval Office, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy was subjected to the most public of dressing downs, an explosion of anger as Vice President J.D. Vance and then President Donald Trump himself accused their embattled Ukrainian guest of being disrespectful to America. He was told to be more thankful and that he was gambling with World War III. There were fiery, furious exchanges. Fingers were pointed and on the sidelines, heads were in hands. It all ended with the entire Ukrainian delegation being ordered to leave, a subsequent press conference cancelled and a relationship seemingly in tatters. Tonight, the world is still reeling. Glee in Moscow, dismay in Kyiv, while one by one, European leaders have given their explicit backing to Ukraine. In the last hour, Downing Street said Sir Keir Starmer has spoken to both Trump and Zelenskyy. But as for the president's agreement on rare earth minerals in exchange for more military support, it remains unsigned. So much for the art of the deal.
After the war of words last week between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelenskyy, this was the opportunity to reset the relationship. He's all dressed up, the president said, the sarcasm an early warning of what was to follow.
We appreciate working with you very much.
Inside the Oval Office, diplomatic niceties to start.
And we have something that is a very fair deal.
But this question may have soured the mood.
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting.
I don't have
the
such.
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe
something like yours. Yes. Maybe something better. I don't
The
know.
disagreements over whether Europe had given more money than America to Ukraine were playful to start.
Partners, they really gave a lot, Mr. President. They did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
Don't argue with me. No.
But President Zelenskyy's face was hardly that of a poker player.
Should have never started. This would have, if I were president, this would have never started.
Soon, though, it descended into an extraordinary, undignified, on-camera argument.
About the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the
A verbal assault led by the Vice President.
With respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Come once. Everybody has problems. Even you. But you have nice ocean and don't feel now. But you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
cards.
Playing cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Please. You think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a minute. No.
For minute after agonizing minute, it continued. The Ukrainian ambassador couldn't believe what she was seeing.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
you
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what,
that wasn't with me.
Means.
That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
That was with Obama. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards, but without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry. Here.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
Tonight, the Ukrainian leader came to Trump's favourite news network. His interview with anchor Brett Baer.
Inside his heated meeting with President Trump.
Now a critical opportunity to repair the damage from a catastrophic day.
Do you think President Zelenskyy can save his relationship with President Trump?
That's truly the question. Probably question number one.
Ukraine's ambassador coming to watch, but still speechless. Ambassador, can the president salvage his relationship with Donald Trump?
This way. Get out their way.
President Zelenskyy was hoping the interview in here with Fox News would be the final flourish to a successful trip to Washington, in which he would have achieved a minerals deal with President Trump, which could be the key to a broader peace in Ukraine. Instead, the fate of his country and his presidency is now in the balance.
And Dan joins us from Washington tonight. It'll be fascinating to see what comes out of that interview. First off, Dan, but President Zelenskyy was ordered out of the White House in the end. This was shocking, it was excruciating, and it is deadly serious, isn't it? Is there any chance of repairing this relationship?
It's going to be incredibly difficult, Julie. He's still in the building behind me, talking to Fox News, about to leave any second. Look, we've talked to a source who's familiar with the discussions between the US and Ukraine. They told us the optics were bad right from the beginning, just from what President Zelenskyy was wearing. They were worried about that. He had a breakfast, we're told, with senators, 13 senators this morning, Volodymyr Zelenskyy. He was warned by Senator Lindsey Graham to be on his best behaviour, but things obviously went terribly once that he got into the Oval Office. What's interesting is the Ukrainians were pushing for this meeting, and there were a number of US officials who didn't want it to go ahead. They felt that the relationship was too fractured, it was too tense after that war of words, and they wanted it to be delayed. Of course, there is a whole another narrative to all this, that this was an ambush, a deliberate ambush by Donald Trump and JD Vance. Well, if it was a trap, it was a trap that Volodymyr Zelenskyy walked into.